So it's so crazy that I could have gone deaf, because I never knew that.
I just cried because it was just so emotional.
And I just want to explore the deaf world that I could have been part of. Hi, how are you?
People don't bother talking to him sometimes because they know he can't hear.
Now with COVID, communication is so hard.
Oh wow, these are amazing. Ready? I always knew I was hard of hearing as a child because I remember certain parts, like I used to have to shout to be able to hear myself. It's something as I've grown up I really want to learn about. So I want to be able to speak to my mum and, you know, try and remember what it was like being hard of hearing.
I don't know, I think you're probably like 2 or maybe 3. And we used to say to you, like, Saffron, Saffron, and you'd just be playing, and we'd be like, she's so rude and so naughty, like, she doesn't listen to us. And it went on for ages and ages and ages, and I think it was Nanny that said, do you think maybe she's got a hearing problem? So that's when we took you to the hospital. When they came back and said that one of your ears particularly was really, really low for hearing, I was like, I just cried, because it was just so emotional. I was like, oh my goodness, this is it. Well, this could get worse, and then she'll have no hearing.
So do you remember like how many operations I had?
I lost count, to be honest, but I'd say 11, 12 times. Around 7 years, he was in and out of hospital.
I think what I remember the most is how many things it didn't allow me to do. Like I remember when I did that bungee jump and my eardrum burst open halfway down. They both burst open. But I remember the pain.
But that was when I felt like the worst mother in the world, because obviously you were desperate to do this bungee drop thing with your brothers, and I didn't even think about the pressure and how high it was. Literally, they were just like, gross. We went straight out of the hospital.
Why was it always that I had cotton wool in my ears?
Basically, because your eardrums would burst all the time, and the stuff would just literally pour out. But I remember you come home a few times from school and you were like, so-and-so said that I look funny with cotton wool in my ears, and you didn't want to wear it, and it was really sad. But honestly, I can tell you now, it would have been worse if you had stuff dripping out of your ears onto the table.
It did make me upset, you know, hearing from my mum that I could have gone deaf, because, you know, my life would have been so different. It was actually the first time I ever heard that. I don't know, it's a weird feeling because I could never imagine my life, you know, without hearing. It makes me want to explore, you know, the deaf world and what it's like for other people that have either gone deaf or was born deaf, because in a way that could have been me. When I did Strictly last year, so many of my followers that are hard of hearing or deaf would tweet to me like, is there any chance you can sign for us? Jazzy actually messaged me thanking me for signing on the show. So I'm on my way to go and meet Jazzy, and I'm so excited to meet her. I am slightly nervous just because, you know, she only actually communicates in British Sign Language, also known as BSL. Hi, how are you? Thank you for having me. Yeah, of course.
Oh, hi, I'm with virtual handshake.
I know, I wish I could hug you all.
So this is my interpreter, Ruth Ann, and she's going to be here talking with us today.
So excuse my ignorance. At this point, I really wish that I could sign, and I feel like you're going to be like my inspiration now. I really, really want to learn to sign.
So I wanted to explain it to you what sign names are. Everybody in the deaf community has a sign name. My sign name is Jasmine, because that's the sign for flower. And I thought maybe we could give you a sign name. So what's your favourite thing?
My favourite thing, oh God, pressure. Lipstick, my family.
Oh, lipstick would be a great one. I think it's perfect for
so
you.
it's lipstick. Is that?
That's your sign name now. It's perfect. That was quick and easy, huh?
So were you born deaf?
Yes. But I'm lucky because my family have learnt BSL from when I was really small. From when I was 1, they started learning BSL. I actually have a cochlear implant. That's,
wow.
Have you seen that? They use on the back of the head. You have an operation and it gets put in. But I don't use it a lot because I've always been deaf. I've always signed communicate. But I use it for clubbing because then I can hear the music.
So is it like you don't wear it all the time because you're not used to hearing the sounds?
When I first had cochlear, then I was really shocked. It's like I never expected the sounds that I would hear, that I could hear like animals, cows, aeroplanes. Normally children have it when they're 1 or 2, when they're first born, so I was quite late. I had it when I was 9. I wanted my old hearing aids back because I felt like every sound shocked me.
Wow, I'm so surprised by that. That's crazy. So what would you say for you is probably like the biggest challenge?
Now with COVID, communication is so hard. If you think with a mask, it's impossible to lip read. It's really difficult for me. Every time I meet people, I'm thinking, oh my God, how do I communicate? So now lots of deaf people have made masks that are see-through. Like I've got one here, look.
Oh, wow.
And you can see through with those. I brought one for you.
Thank you. It's almost like, why did nobody think of these before? I hope that we can raise awareness. Maybe we should think about, like, I don't know, doing like, maybe like a music video or something, you know, wearing the mask.
That sounds really fantastic. It's a really good idea. That would be great.
I guess for somebody that isn't deaf, you wouldn't necessarily think about it. Jazzy has taken me to the nail salon to show me, you know, how hard it is for deaf people to communicate with everyone wearing COVID masks. Hi. So can I get gel, please? And then Jazzy's going to get a normal polish.
Yeah, sure.
A flower? You mean a butterfly?
I think a glitter.
Glitter.
I think she means glitter.
A glitter?
Yeah.
Yeah? Okay.
So it was a very sudden change, but I got blue.
I'm really embarrassed. There was a bit of a miscommunication, I think. I was thinking that I wanted gel nails, but you asked me, do you like gel or normal? And I thought you meant extensions. And then only when it got put on, I was like, oh no, it's not even gel. No, and it's fine. Don't worry. You don't have to be sorry. It happens all the time with communication. It's just really normal in deaf life.
Seeing Jazzy struggle in the nail bar, I just honestly find it incredible how she deals with that every single day. Hi, thank you. I understand how much of a struggle it can be. I absolutely hated being hard of hearing. I think there was a lot of like anger. It was either stop shouting or why are you ignoring us? That was like so common for me. You know, I couldn't always hear other people, so sometimes it was just easier for me to play alone, not to play with other children. Realising how much the clear mask can help, you know, it makes me want to do the music videos so much more. My plan for the music video is basically to ask as many people as possible just to get involved, have a laugh, and also just be super easy, so if anyone wants to get involved, they can. Hello!
Hi, darling.
Hello, air hug. Are you okay? My granddad, he's actually going deaf. He's now really bad, hard of hearing, and you know, I've never really thought about it too much before. It's not really something I think about. So the other day, I went to this girl called Jazzy's house, who's a deaf vlogger. She does the same thing as me, although
Slower.
So the other day...
Sorry, Granda, can't catch it.
The other day, I went to this girl called Jazzy's house, and I learned about basically what it's like being deaf. When did you notice that you were starting to lose your hearing?
I suddenly went deaf. I went to bed at night in the morning, one ear I couldn't hear a thing out of.
Really?
About 20 years ago.
Wow.
Overnight, you know, I couldn't understand it.
I think the worst thing is that Grandad, he loves the social life. He's had to cut himself right back from that because people don't bother talking to him sometimes because they know he can't hear. So it's like, you can almost see it. Oh, there's no point there, so we walk on.
Because I know sometimes it's difficult for you when there's lots of us in a room. So if everyone's talking...
It's horrendous, basically. I just can't cope with it. So I just pull back a bit then.
Sounds like lonely if you're sat there and you can't hear.
Yeah.
When you were younger, you used to get into trouble for shouting, and you always had the TV too loud.
I remember I used to shout over myself to be able to hear myself.
That's right. Oh, God, I'll never forget how poorly you were, Saf. You were in so much pain, and Grandad, you were in pain one night, and Grandad went to put some drops in, and you screamed because we didn't know you'd got something that had burst in your ear. I can't think about it. I'm a bit upset now.
I've learned to live with it now.
You do get a lot by lip reading, darling, don't you?
Yeah, I
Reading
mean,
people's lips.
that makes a hell of a difference. It's that I'm learning, not being taught, I'm just learning from experience to lip read.
You have to, don't you, really, or else you can't converse with anybody.
I'm really close to my granddad, although, his hearing isn't really something we've ever really spoken about before. It actually breaks my heart, him telling me how lonely it is. It's amazing that he's, trying and learning just gradually to lip read. It makes me feel guilty because, I think maybe I could have made more of an effort over the past couple of years. I guess I didn't really notice it before because I kind of thought, oh, maybe it's his choice, but it isn't. I never want to see my granddad left out. I think it definitely will change my behaviour. Just get him as involved as much as anyone else. Today I'm going to be filming for the music video, raising awareness for these clear masks. A fan of mine called Chloe, who is also deaf, is going to help me with the music video. Chloe had a cochlear implant as a baby, so she uses speech rather than sign language. Do some people, not realise that you're deaf?
No, not really, because every time I meet someone new, I start a conversation normally, and I go, are you deaf or something? I'm like, yeah, I am, actually. And they go, no, you're not. I'm like, yeah. So I have to show them my cochlear implant. It's complicated, really.
Yeah. So do you, use lip reading a lot as
lip
well,
read, so I
then?
don't really sign as much, but I mostly focus on lip reading.
There was so much I didn't know about the deaf community. It's so important to, make people realise that there are actually these masks, because I think the biggest problem is no one knows they're out there. You ready? Let's go smash this music video just like that. Ready? Let's go. So if you stand in this spot here, this is going to be like a transition sort of shot. In the edit, it will change from a normal mask to a transparent one.
I've got my mate coming now. She's going to help us. Yeah.
Okay, sorry.
At the beginning of this journey, I never thought that I would learn so much about myself. It really made me remember, why I did feel lonely and frustrated and angry at times. Meeting all of these amazing deaf people, it's helped me see their frustration and how hard it is for them to communicate. My hopes for the music video is it just raises awareness more than anything. Ready?
Yes. Say I know about me, but I don't know about you. I'm in such a